Welcome, my friends, to a very long overdue Crusader Kings 3, A Game of Thrones playthrough. Here for a lovely Christmas series for reasons you'll find out in a moment. Apologies for this taking so long. I fell into the Crusader Kings 2 hole and I couldn't quite climb out of it until this very moment when I had a fantastic idea for Crusader Kings 3, A Game of Thrones. I do owe someone a playthrough with a different house, but I've got a really great idea for that one and CK2 simultaneously on the second channel, but that's going to have to wait. So, before we begin, word of note, I have 4 series happening simultaneously. 2 on this channel, 1 on the second channel, 1 on the Elysian Sam channel. This is going to be very lightly edited, but the important thing to know is we're going to be playing the character. This is not some campaign to simply win. This is going to be a playthrough exploring the characters and allowing the story to develop naturally and allowing the game to stand on its own 2 feet. Now, in the hundreds and hundreds of hours I play Crusader Kings 2, I usually stick to a small dynasty, a relatively obscure dynasty that naturally through the course of gameplay, through our decisions and the things that we do, we eventually elevate them to something of import. I don't think I've ever played the Lannisters or the Starks or the Baratheons or anything like that. Certainly not in the context of the Game of Thrones and the Songs of Ice and Fire books. This time, I'm making an exception with a twist. And this is where I throw that all in the bin, because not only are we going to be playing as one of the most important dynasties in the Song of Ice and Fire, but probably one of the most important characters, at least for now. Again, with a slight twist on things. Lord Eddard of House Stark, one of the most important characters there are, but what if in this world, poor, sweet Robb Stark, his firstborn son and heir, sadly died, tragically died at the age of baby. And now my good friend Lord Eddard is left with a very difficult choice. Does he try and have another heir, knowing full well that his realm is in total risk, potentially all passing on to his brother Lord Benjen? Or does he look to that bastard in his court, little Jon Snow, and try and legitimise him? Now, of course, we all know the Honourable Lord Eddard would never do anything like that. He would respect his wife and the sanctity of his marriage, etc., far too much. But let's suspend a little disbelief, and let's assume that my man Lord Eddard would absolutely want to legitimise young Jon Snow, to make sure that his dynasty has a successor, just in case anything could happen at any time. I mean, just coming out of fighting an enormous civil war, they'd be well aware that in a moment's notice, a dynasty can drop off the face of the planet, as did the Targaryens. And this is where things go a little off course. An alternate timeline branches out. We're going to legitimise Jon Snow so that he becomes Jon Stark. Lady Catelyn is going to be very upset, but maybe Eddard's panicking a little bit. And there it is, the setup. Let it snow with little Jon Snow himself. Am I doing this in a potentially bitter tirade against the end of Game of Thrones Season 8? Perhaps the worst thing I've ever watched with my own fair eyes? Yes, maybe I am. Maybe I, much like every Game of Thrones fan, is bitter and twisted and have accepted in our hearts that George R.R. Martin is never going to write another damn thing as long as he lives. So, and presumably after he's lived as well. It'd be very bizarre if he started writing from beyond the grave. Somebody out here has to give Jon Snow a goddamn happy ending, and if I have to be that person as a Christmas miracle, so be it. I have declared my son and heir, Jon, to be my legitimate child, a member of House Stark. It's taken a lot of thought for me to arrive at this conclusion, and while some might disagree, Catelyn, it might be the right thing to do. It was the right thing to do. Your future is bright, Jon Stark. Of course, Bobby B himself, the legend, was going to do that. He's best friends. They're best friends. He was never going to say no. Wow. And there we have it. The alternate future is set up. Now, this takes place approximately 10 years before the series would. Well, like 10 to 14 years or something like that. In the books I'm talking about, right? In the show, they're obviously a lot older. But in the books, Robb was only 14 at the time. So slightly earlier than you might be familiar with, but I think this is the perfect start, because Jon Snow at the age of 0, we can educate him, we can prepare him to eventually become the Lord Paramount of House Stark. Now I find myself asking, do I remember how to play Crusader Kings 3? Well, before we look at all of that, I've got to look and see what they've actually done with the mod. The Game of Thrones mod was ultimately what got me to fall in love with Crusader Kings in the first place. Never really liked the base game, wasn't particularly interested in history, and it was the Game of Thrones mod that brought me over to the side of Crusader Kings, and without it, I would not be where I am right now. Playing RimWorld for 8 hours a day. Thanks. Why am I playing this again? I have to look around. I have to see what they've done. And already, I mean, it's kind of eye-catching, right? You've got to admit, the wall looks amazing. You've got Castle Black there in the center. Again, all these custom models look fantastic. We've got Eastwatch by the Sea over to believe it or not, the east by the sea, and then it should be the Shadow Tower on the other side, right? Oh, damn, this is cool. Very impressive. I can't imagine there's too much beyond the wall to see. Craster's Keep might be custom. I'm ultimately not that familiar with the Game of Thrones mod. I should clarify, I've not played the Crusader Kings 3 Game of Thrones mod at all up until this point. So this is me coming in totally fresh. Oh, Then looks cool. Hey, look at that. That's awesome. Very fancy. There's some of the hot springs. They're a much nicer area. The Then, of course, in the books compared to the show are much more feudal, much more well organized. Whereas in the show, they were just nightmarish, frightening Darth Maul-less cannibals, as I remember correctly. Oh, let's have a look at the Dreadfort. Very fancy. Looks like the fortresses that you find across Morrowind. I like that one. I wonder what else they've done. Oh, is that White Harbor? It is White Harbor. Oh, that looks very, very cool. And then, of course, Winterfell itself. How could I forget? Very fancy. Ah, takes me back. You remember when we were all optimistic, bright-eyed, watching our favorite TV show, Game of Thrones. Robert Baratheon comes in. Cat! You all remember that? Ah, a better time before it was ruined. Not that I'm bitter. The twins? Yeah, there you go. Damn, this is cool. I wonder how much they've done. They seem to have done absolutely loads. To say it hasn't really been out that long. What about, I was going to say Casterly Rock, but look at Lannisport as well. Oh my god, with the golden line in the center there, that looks awesome. Casterly Rock finally given the authority it should have. What about over in Pike? Sorry, I'll timestamp this. This is going to be 20 minutes of me looking around the map for custom things and then saying, wow, that looks great, because it really does. Damn, Pike looks good as well. Very similar to the depiction in the show there, huh? Is there anything else on the Iron Islands? There's an enormous man. You'll remember the enormous man in the Iron Islands. Listen, I'm not going to be looking at every... Well, I might look at every castle. Riverrun looks amazing. Great work on that one. What about Harrenhal? Obviously, enormous burnt-down castle there. You spot that from a mile away. God's Eye looks pretty fun as well. The Godswood's in the center there. We'll save King's Landing till last, because I imagine that's got some fancy stuff. Dragonstone. Oh, and they've got the volcano. That looks awesome. Looks a little bit like Cirith Ungol. Whoa, that looks very similar. I like that a lot. The Eyrie is very spooky. Old cathedral look to it. Very nice. I'm sure there's other stuff in the Vale, too, that has some custom stuff. Storm's End. Ah, that looks very cool. That looks very similar to what we've seen in House of the Dragon. Actually quite good. I was skeptical going in, okay, but I quite liked it when I'd watched it. What about... I mean, High Garden. Obviously, High Garden looks amazing. It's a High Garden. What more can you say? That's actually so well done. God damn, look at the detail. Jesus. And then, presumably, High Tower over in Old Town. It's a very high tower. You can't deny it. This is why you come to this channel for hard-hitting facts. Hearth Hall is here somewhere. I don't know if they've done anything for Hearth Hall in particular. Sunspear? Maybe the Torrentine as well. We're going to have a look. Oh... God damn, that is so cool. Look, I'm not going to look at every castle, okay? I'm not going to look at every castle, but this is the first time I'm experiencing this, so I'm going to go and have a look around. Dane, House Dane, where are you? It looks... Is that just the standard castle graphic? I mean, it looks great. If that is the standard castle graphic, I mean, fantastic work. There is actually so much to see, my god. Summer Hall, is that? It is, and it's still burned down. I wonder if you can restore it. That's interesting. Summer Hall burned down. Was it the night of Rhaegar's birth or Daenerys' birth? I don't remember. Look, I will admit, I took myself out of the Game of Thrones world. There's kind of an emotional force field. Wasn't prepared for this, okay? Now we've got... That looks very impressive. Except to Baelor, you've got the Dragon Pit. You've got the Red Keep. That is what that's called, yeah? King's Landing looks incredible. I mean, that's amazing. Now we'll play the game. There's enough Google Mapsing around. It all looks incredible. It's so well done. I'm surprised so much has been done, given how it feels like it's so early into the game. But I suppose Crusader Kings 3 has been out quite a while. Do I want to request a loan from the Iron Bank of Bravos? No, I do not. Well, let's have a look at our character before I start clearing off all these notifications here. We are Lord Eddard Stark, an honorable fool. He is honest, honorable, trusting, and just. To a fault, I would argue. This is the most just and judicious man who will ever live. And that's how we're absolutely going to play him. Skilled Tactician, that's fair enough. Skilled Fighter, prowess +6. I mean, he did beat Arthur Dane, right? And then, well-connected social figure. Oh, what is this, huh? Certainly don't remember this. It must be an addition with Tours and Tournaments, right? Because it's like a levelable trait. Increase the scales of power swings from special relations by leveling up the popularity among peers trait path. That's all to do with tours and tournaments, like when you're away. Of course, you have the region. I'm going to have to refamiliarize myself with that because I haven't played in a very long time. Whoa, social connection, popularity among peers, friends in high places, and slander from rivals. Very cool. Wow, there's a lot of depth to that we're going to have to explore when we get there. Catelyn Stark, your wife and lady paramount. She doesn't think very highly of him, probably because he did legitimize a bastard. Minus 50. I thought that said minus 25 before, but fair enough. Maybe it stacks. Requesting the decision, it being approved. Maybe it's minus 25 each. I'm not entirely sure. Jon Snow himself, a total blank slate that hopefully we're going to turn into someone good, because that was kind of the premise of the entire series. So if you let me down, maybe you will find a way down a well. Of course, Eddard would never do that. You could just, you know, slip down there. Oh, the Royal Court. Let's not worry about that for a time being. I've got to have a look at the council, see what we've got going on here. We've got Walton, our Castellan. Castellan is a special rank that they had in the CK2 mod as well. We've got Oversea Realm, or Oversea Realm. Fair enough. That one is Intrigue. That one's Learning. That one is Martial, which I think we'll put him on. Oh, and then there are sub-decisions there too. Oh, that's so cool. What a great way to do that. Walton will be sent to Fortified Defenses, or sent to Overseeing the Realm, which just gives you generically +2 Martial. Keep him on that then. That's fine. I'm doing it mainly for the lifestyle experience. So I don't think we've really got to worry about wars or anything like that for the time being. Our Chancellor, Lord Medgar, very nice, very on pool. Actually, it's quite a good council here. Lord Roderick, hello. Roderick Wiswell, my friend. Lord Wyman Mandalay, yeah, there we are. 24 Intrigue is absolutely fantastic. We've also got a hook on him, apparently. That's nice. Loyalty hook, okay. Roose Bolton himself. God damn, they have made him look like a White Walker this time around, huh? In the books, he's much more pale and frightening than he was in the show. There's a theory that he actually is a White Walker, but I think it's I think it's a little bit silly. And we've got Sienella, just a random lady, but she is very, very good. Okay, sweet. And who else have we got in our? Who else have we got here in our court as courtiers? Maester Lewin makes perfect sense. Epton Chales, Epton Morden, Roderick Castle, the man with the legendary facial hair himself. Look at that as our master at arms. Very nice. I'm so glad they managed to get that. I wonder if that's custom or not. It's impressive either way. Micken and Holland don't recognize any others. We've got a lot of court ranks to fill up. I don't think our income really justifies it right now, but we'll worry about that later down the line. We do have some decisions we can take here. Obviously, one was request a loan from the Iron Bank of Bravos, which I think I'm okay. Petition liege, pay homage, consecrate bloodline. You've got a lot of the other stuff. Expose true parentage. That is an interesting decision. Spoilers for Game of Thrones Season 8. Well, I'm just going to presume everybody's seen it at this point, or gave up watching, which is reasonable. I remember all too keenly the promises made amid the winter roses, and yet before me is a child whose whole life is built upon a lie. It's not fair that Lyanna's child should live and die without ever knowing the truth. Well, there's your spoiler right there, I suppose. You reveal what truly happened at the Tower of Joy. We can only reveal it if he's an adult. That's interesting. And then can we just... That's the only requirement. Wow, so at any point, maybe if Eddard becomes ill, we can tell the world that Jon Snow, or Jon Stark in this case, is actually Lyanna Stark and, spoilers, Rhaegar Targaryen's son. That would be very cool. That wasn't really what I was going for with this playthrough, but the fact that it's right there does seem kind of fun. Maybe Eddard doesn't do it, you know? Maybe because he is honorable and trusting and yada yada. Maybe he knows it's better to keep that a secret. Otherwise... Robert Baratheon would just come down hard and try and hunt him down, right? So I don't know if that's really within his character right now. We'll see what happens. Bill Pilgrim Roads, 250 piety exchange, 105 construction. We're all right, thank you. And then we've got some generic stuff here. Show Valyrian steel blades. Oh. Lord Eddard of the North, of course, we have ice. Montfort of Driftmark, that is that's the axe, right? The House Valyrian have. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Pincer? Oh, Seafoam. Do they not also have an axe, or am I... Oh, that's House Celtigar. Of course, I'm fucking idiot. That's House Celtigar. I'm not going to go through every sword. I'm not going to go through every... You know a lot of the Valyrian steel swords. You know what's going on there. And there we are. Disallow petitioners, vassal homage, manage your letters, meditate at Weirwood. Oh, interesting. Regardless of faith, few places in the world come close to matching the heart of Godswood in terms of tranquility and otherworldly solitude. Perhaps I should visit the Heart Tree for some guidance. That's interesting. We'll have to see what that does then. Refuse to become captain or commander so that we can refuse to fight Robert Baratheon's wars and get ourselves inevitably killed. So then, Eddard Stark is a man of chivalry through and through. So I'm absolutely, even though it doesn't really make much sense, we're probably not going to be going to war anytime soon. There may be some occasional rebels, maybe the Greyjoys and stuff like that pop up. Maybe that's an enforced story event. I think for the time being, a nice chivalry focus. And we become a gallant man. Because I think that sums up Eddard Stark. He's chivalrous absolutely to a fault. And I think we're going to have an easy start of just making sure that Jon Stark grows to be a good, honest successor. We'll have our tournaments and we'll bide our time and be a good guardian and educate him and etc., etc. It's all going to be fine. We're not going to host any tournaments for the timing, I don't think. And then we can hold court. I suppose we probably should. It's a nice introduction, huh? Let's see what we've got going on. Sitting on my throne, I gesture for my guards to approach the doors, to open the doors of the hall. Approach and then open, you'd assume. A stream of people file in, some lining up in front of my throne, while others move out of the way so they can simply observe the proceedings. Gesture for the first in line to approach. Hello there. I don't think Eddard Stark would have a big fancy seat like that. I picture him just sat on like a little like wooden chair around the long table. My vassal, Lord Torgon, takes a turn bending my ear before the assembled courts. Glorious liege, give me the honor of maintaining the royal cavalry and looking to your steeds, a position I am far better suited to than Holland. I will not let you down. Holland likes us quite a lot. We don't dislike Holland. Do we like him more than this person here? Lord Torgon is a vassal. Can we just persuade him? We have other needs of your talent as president. We could make him an architect. Okay. He's not terrible at it. But he is better at being a horseman. So you know what? We're going to give him that. We're going to give him that. It is the just thing to do to give your vassals, you know, high-ranking positions in court. It's expected of you, right? So there you go. We'll give him that. Just as a nice little pacification. Lord Eric of Arundel. The whole room falls silent as my vassal Lord Eric enters triumphantly, followed by two struggling servants who are dragging a chained wolf. My lord, I present you a gift worthy of the mightiest rulers of the world. This magnificent beast was hunted in the steppes of Arundel, and now I offer it to you as a symbol of my devotion and your unparalleled power. Shall we say, thank you, I really needed a carpet. The animal was killed for its hide. We gained 6 court grandeur. I feel like given that their sigil is a dire wolf, killing a wolf immediately seems like a bit of a bad idea. A mighty beast for a mighty ruler. We gain pet monster. Bruh. First event, and we're getting like a pet wolf. This is already fate. I will absolutely take a big beast. Would Eddard Stark have taken that pet wolf? I mean, it was obviously very different taking the direwolf puppies, giving them to his kids. It was a different kettle of fish. But you know what? Let's take one. I think it's fate that we would be offered that immediately. My lord, my steward, Varian approaches. I propose a cadastral survey of all the counties you own. 70 cash in exchange for surveying the realm. Fine. Okay, you know what, Vayon? I trust you. I trust you, because that's what Eddard Stark is, right? He's a trusting man. I better say trustworthy. I think he's a trustworthy man as well, but I think he's a trusting man. And we're gonna trust that man doesn't take that money and run off to the brothel. Got a little bit of busy work to do here. Disabled building, I presume, is because we were over the domain limit. It's just at Godwoods in Dark Set. Yeah, it was disabled and will re-enable in 12 months, so not a problem there. Powerful vassals expect council positions. Rickard Karstark. It's not very good. I mean, I can make him Castellan instead of Walton. Again, it is honourable and the right thing to do to put your high-ranking vassals on your council. So you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because I think it's the right thing to do. Master Galbert of Wolfswood is... Galbert, I haven't really got a position for you. I mean, I'd have to sack... Vayon Poole would be the only one I think would be get rid of Roose Bolton, but he's also an angry fella. I'm sorry, I can't do anything for that right now. We can station Man-at-Arms. What Man-at-Arms have we got then? Winter Wolves. Oh, that's fun. Is that just like the nickname for this particular band? I presume they're not like literally wolves, right? Let's go ahead and station them in Winterfell. Sure, why not? Get some bonuses out of that one. What has he got for me? Changes Spymaster's core. Is the thing. Changes contracts. I'm not going to do that. Because we're honourable. And I feel like manipulating him because he's loyal to you is absolutely not something the Lord Eddard would ever do. Benjen Stark. Uncle Benjen. You would love to marry Sarah Went. Where did she go? To our court to marry you. We could... I mean, why did he join the Night's Watch in the book? I think he just joined the Night's Watch, right? Because he was second in line, Eddard had kids, so he just like went to go do that instead. He wasn't like sent away or anything like that, as far as I recall. Given that he is second in line, do we keep Uncle Benjen around? I think we do keep Uncle Benjen around. You know what? Let's marry him off. I like that idea. We can also create an accolade. That's fun. Oh, 10 out of 10 on captains. That's rare. Okay. Give an accolade to... I've got to give it to Sir Roderick. I've got to give it to Sir Roderick, and I've got to name it Lord of the Beard. Is it a beard that he's got? It's more sideburns. Lord of Sideburns. Incredible. That's for you, Sir Roderick. I couldn't think of anyone more deserved. So his primary attribute there is Reeve. Do we want Reeve? Give stewardship eventually. Completing the Grand Tournament gives +1 development level. I don't like that. Let's see what we've got. Disciplinarian. Reinforcement rate plus 10%. Hell yes, much better. And then Idealist, we can swap out for Reeve or Valiant. Idealist gives courtly vassal opinion plus 5, minority vassal opinion plus 3, minority landholder. That's kind of nice. That's not bad. Reeve is fine. Parochial vassal opinion plus 10. I'm not really bothered about that one. Valiant does do army damage. I don't think we need it, but I'm going to take it. Bearer of the Lord's Trust. No. Bearer of the Lord's Sideburns. Okay, that's way better. You're right. Oh, we haven't got enough prestige. Oh, boo earns. Really? Why tell me I can create an accolade and then swoop it away like that? God damn, you got my hopes up. Okay, let's put that onto the do list. Make Lord Roderick Master of Sideburns. Keep that in the back of my mind. I should have checked what house she was from. It turns out she was the Lord of Harrenhal's sister. That's not an insignificant alliance, admittedly. It's pretty alright, so I'll take that one. We're already allied to his liege lord, so I guess it didn't really make too much of a difference, given that we'll get those troops most likely either way. But that's quite nice. An occasion in court. Is that it's little John? He looks ridiculous. Why is he standing around in court like a grown-ass man? Greetings, my amicable lord, Mordan says, bringing a hand to her heart. I'm very interested in the upbringing of your son, John. You see, I speak Old, a language that I believe would be most useful for him to learn. Old what? Old Valyrian? Old what do you speak, madam? Common and, oh, like the old tongue. Oh, that's interesting, like the language of the old gods. Yeah, actually, that would be quite good for him to learn. Okay, yes, 75 gold to have Jon Stark learn the old tongue, the tongue of the first men, one would assume. Well, that's already quite appropriate. I like that. Appropriate to his character. Or, you know, the character he would have become. Hello! The cadastra completed! My steward Vaon bows briefly before me and explains with a satisfied smile, My lord, you might remember... Why so satisfied? My lord, you might remember that some months ago you invested a large sum of gold into a cadastra of your counties. I have personally supervised the matter and I can proudly say the job is done. Well done. Oh, 150 prestige, is it time? No! Because I lost a lot of prestige for John. You know what? These things happen. I believe that one day we will get the sideburns, but not today. Oh, it's my good friend and spymaster, Wyman Manderley. Hello there. My entourage and I have arrived in Winterfell after weary travel. There are important matters regarding the welfare of White Harbor that I must discuss with you. Okay. Here he is. Lord Wyman is at last shown to the Great Hall and wastes no time before walking up to my throne and bowing deeply. Thank you for seeing me, my liege. I come to you today with an urgent request. Lord Andrew has been waging war upon me and your good loyal subjects in the High Lordship of White Harbor. Surely this infighting only weakens us all and should be stopped in its tracks. Does he have a legitimate casus belli? I think would probably be Eddard Stark's approach to this, right? Wait. You fucker. Wait, what? Lord Andrew has been waging war upon me. My brother, I can read. Attackers, Lord Lyman. Did he attack? So he's trying to climb Beam Cross, and he's losing? So now they're kicking his ass? See your point very well. I will force you to end your wars. We could do that. Force an end to your wars. Oh, God. This doesn't seem very honorable. This man started a fight that he's losing and now came to us begging for help. He's not even really losing. The war's only just bloody started. How long has this been going? It's been going 3 days. Would you declare war and then run right here, Wyman? Okay, it's clearly some sort of like, you know, manipulation. It's some sort of play to maybe show what sort of, show what sort of power he has maybe over Lord Eddard. I see your point. Very well, I will force an end to your wars. We do gain some renown for that. I love a bit of renown, but so does Manderley. Can arrange a peace, but you will need to pay reparations. I think that is the honourable thing to do. For inconveniencing everybody, you will pay reparations. What are you willing to give me for peace? Eddard would never do it. I'm going to go for this one. Even though the top one's arguably much more beneficial, I'm going to go for the option. He rejected it. He rejected it. Well, you big bitch. You made your bed, now you get to lie in it. He lost 10 opinion of you. I've lost opinion of you. How about that? And only a few short days later, we've been invited to a hunt. Definitely nothing to do with the fact that OBS crashed. No. There's no reason that time has skipped forward. We haven't yet arrived at the hunt. It's us, Lord Roderick, Lord Rickard, and Lord Carlon, and I made preparations for the caravan to begin heading out. We have a caravan master. She was already in our court, and to get us there safely, I've hired forest guides and a desert warrior. Yes, because apparently there is a desert on the way over here. There you are, the Windy Wood. So we've hired those. That brought us down to a relatively safe trip. It's a little expensive, but nothing we can't manage. My master-at-arms, Lord Roderick, is hosting a hunt in Grailheart, and time has come for us to depart. Should be a good sport if the event is properly organised. I think it's well within Eddard's character that... Bloody hell! The man flew! I think it's well within his character that he'd be happy to go on a hunt, right? I think that makes perfect sense. We did do a slight diversion to go visit the Great Barrow by heading south of here. It was just gave us 200 learning lifestyle experience. Not massive, but not worth not doing the detour, or worth taking the detour. I swear I've seen this place in my dream before, Roderick exclaims. It looks so familiar. Yes, in my dream, the geography and the landscape looked exactly like this. We've been traveling in Red Branch for a few hours when Roderick got excited all of a sudden. How wondrous! This must be a sign from the old gods. Okay, we gain 300 piety. Now, Eddard was I think, it's fair to say, a spiritual man. A spiritual man. Look to guidance from the old gods, very much attached to the old gods rather than the new. I think he would... I think he'd humor it, if nothing else. He was not a very humorous man. Are you good? Are you good? Should you be out here? Maybe this is why he's having a hunt, you know, to realign his humors. Speaking of humorous men, as we await the arrival of the rest of the guests, Lord Roderick has started on preparations. His gamekeepers check the wilderness each day for signs of quarry while building a camp close to the hunting grounds. I've checked my gear and horse many times, and it won't be long now. Soon, you got a success chance of 16.5%. Actually, kind of surprised it's not higher, because a lot of these Northmen have quite high martial stats. Lord Rickard assembles the party as the sun rises over the hunting grounds nestled in Grailheart's wilderness. Ultimately, Lord Roderick has decided he wants to hunt a boar. Oh god, okay, here we are. It's 4 out of 5 on the danger score and 4 out of 5 on the prestige. What is more prestigious than like a bear? You'd hunt a bear, maybe? Let's get out there then. 16.5% chance. Well, we were resting in the road in Grailheart when a travelling barrowman bard happened to pass by. She introduced herself as Frella Sables. Reward name right there. One of my guards offered the woman a few coins in exchange for some entertainment. Frella then sang through several songs in the local common dialect, and there was little doubt about her talent. The melancholy songs touch our hearts deeply, and the joyful songs roused our spirits. Thank you for the performance. Or, have some coins for a few more songs. Oh. I feel like Eddard's also kind of a humble man, so we'll say thank you. We'll move along with our hunt. Yesterday, our travels in Grailheart were rather grueling. I was so exhausted that I overslept. The rest of my entourage didn't want to wake me up, saying that they were worried I would not be in the right state of mind. They didn't give me enough rest. We'll say thank you. You got to appreciate they were trying to do a nice thing for us, okay? Or, I'll be careful not to oversleep again. Traveling diligently on time. Oh, that's good. That's good. He doesn't need to worry about the stress right now. He's not a particularly stressed man. Rather zen, rather chill, but I think he's also dutiful, you know, and he would make sure he was awake. My vassal, Lord Rickard, is the first to spot its sharpened tusks. The powerful boar is hard to distinguish, but there's no doubt it's there observing us through the leafy bushes. Lord Roderick thinks a moment before gesturing to the left. Come, we will cut it off. That's kind of the point of the hunt, yes. And now, we wait and see who dies. Our plans were for naught. The beast sensed our trap by wind or connivance and refused to be led into the ambush by the flushers. At last, it slipped their clutches entirely, disappearing into the wilderness. Clever girl. The hunt fails. Shocker. It's almost like we only had a 16.5 success chance. We did, however, gain the trait Hunter, which is quite cool. Good God. What's the opposite of a short back and sides? That's a brave haircut, isn't it? So it's just a continuation of his beard all the way around. Heeding the call of the wild is an adventure, and this outing has delivered the good and bad in abundance. Lord Carlon gathers the disappointed party and the exhausted hounds for the trip home. It indeed eluded us this time. Let's leave the adventure behind. That was nice. This could be great album art. My God, looks like a diss track. And now he runs with his tail between his legs all the way back to Winterfell and, almost safely, I was about to say. Journeying through Sullen Wall, I pass by a peculiar-looking tent splayed open. It's even more peculiar-looking occupant inside.
Come in, oh mighty lord. I can tell you have many miles to go, and I can offer you a reading on your future travels for a modest price.
The strange woman has piqued my interest. Am I willing to pay for a reading? No, thank you. I think, again, he's quite a humble, reserved man. We're good. See you later. And we're home. We have visited the capital of the Seven Kingdoms of the Iron Throne, have we? When was that? I think that's because we visited Winterfell, actually. Maybe a capital of one of the Seven Kingdoms is how I should have read that. At long last, I'm finally home. There's nothing better than arriving back in Winterfell after a long journey. I don't know, maybe going to somewhere that's a bit warmer. Like go to paradise instead of this wasteland, but that's okay. My caravan master Violet reports that we've journeyed for 99 days and traversed 45 baronies. Wow, we've been gone quite a long time then, huh? Did we take little Jon with us, or did we leave him at court with Catelyn? Because I feel like that could have been an awful idea. We can... Oh. That's kind of sick and not what I was expecting to see when I pushed that button. Petition liege. There it is. The Iron Throne. The Iron Throne in the books is enormous. It's even taller than that. There's like an approved artwork that George R.R. Martin worked with an artist on. It's enormous and fills out the whole throne room. And obviously in the show they scaled it down, but... Whoa, Meryn Trant, Varys, there he is. Oh, he looks so good. God damn, he's got 38 intrigue. What else we got here? Queen Cersei stood at the bottom awkwardly, next to Sir Barristan the Bold. Very nice. There's Tywin as well, hanging around. Boros Blount, and then Maya Stone. Oh, Robert's Bastard? And then Moon Boy. Hello, Moon Boy. Petition Robert Baratheon for a gift? We would never. Come on, we would never. Let's have a look around there. This is cool. You got the 7 up there in the stained glass windows. One day... we will take the Iron Throne. Wow, what a throne room. Good God. Damn, that is sick. One day we'll take the Iron Throne for ourselves, okay? And we'll get to look upon this. I guess the banners would be swapped out too. Is that a trick of the camera? That's clever. Maybe they did just scale it up to be massive like that. Damn, that is so cool. Very cinematic, very impressive. And I think that's a great place to leave it here for today. A nice gentle start. Saying the things up, getting the concept, getting the characters down. More importantly, me knocking the dust off of Crusader Kings 3. Because it's been a long while since we did the last series on the main channel, actually. Since I've played Crusader Kings 3, and I played a lot of Crusader Kings 2 in the interim. So, I'm going to have to get back into the swing of things and get back acquainted with the Game of Thrones world. But I'm very excited to see where this ends up. Maybe we take it full bore, we reveal Jon's parentage, we try to take the Iron Throne, and we put Jon Snow on there. That'll be quite an impressive end goal, particularly for a Christmas series supposedly focusing on Jon Snow, after all. Hence the name of the damn series. Thank you all for joining me. If you got any feedback, any mod suggestions, things like that, please have a look in the description, because I'll put the collection down there. Any feedback on anything, let me know. More editing, less editing, faster gameplay. I'm all open ears. Got to get, like I said, back into the swing of it. I don't normally do Patreon shoutouts for the secondary series that we're on the main channel, but given that a lot of patrons requested the return of Crusader Kings 3, I think it's only right to do it this time, because they were the ones that swayed me back into it. Thank you to Vonerath, Warseeker999, Forcer, Talks a Lot, Chicken Robo, Iarba, Deadwood, Sabine Shadowhill, Cow Aladdin, Birdman, Prince, Typhos, Shatner's Bassoon, Texas Yardbird, MGS Detect Sound, Vicunda Vasquez, Wazzy, Brambio, Triquatrol, Vincent Van Giel, Mothbot, Hoaxor, Short Comrade, Lady J, Dranmere, Carly's Rainbows, and Biv for the support of the executive producer tiers over on Patreon. Thank you for making this channel, the second channel, and the Elysian Sound channel all possible. Thank you for the barrage of content you enable me to produce somehow. Thank you as well to Elias Volberg, Fatigable, Jason R, King, Luffy, Link, 3, Mithrin, Watchman, Captain Tess, Lassero, Lady Adax, Earl Silver, Justin Wallace, Nylanthria, NZ, Smithsy, Toasty Buns, and Zelif as well. See you all tomorrow, I presume.